Hey guys, it's Damien.
And I'm Kenady, and thank you so much for joining us. Now today we're talking about how to know if you met the right one. It is a kind of a continuation of the last video we did on 5 signs to know if you're ready for a relationship. And it was based off Damien's book, #CompletelySingle, which is the prequel to our book that we wrote,
It's in the description.
#Married. And so yeah, it's in the description how to get it. And so let's go ahead and get right to it.
Okay. So number 1 is time will tell if you met the right one. Time will tell if you met the right one. You do not have to rush into a relationship and to the altar at all. Time will tell. Why? Because you get to know the person. You become friends with the person. Also, we would like to tell you that you do not have to waste time. So time will tell. You don't have to rush, but you don't have to waste time. Sometimes we have heard that people waste time in trying to get everything right. I had an accountability partner tell me, he said, Damien, stop wasting time trying to get your job right, the money right, and all these things. You're playing God and you're wasting time in your relationship.
And also not waiting around for someone to say, oh, I like you, I think you're the one, but I'm just not ready now. And they're trying to kind of keep you in the corner, but not really pursuing you. And so you can't just waste time and pause your life for this person. We have to be led, we have to be wise and not waste time. But again, it's kind of a balance to that and using discernment. But sometimes people do waste time while someone is playing games, and then next week they're in a new relationship and now they're all of a sudden ready.
And you better.
And you better.
And you have some resentment.
Oh, you got other problems.
Get off of social media and watching them.
We're far left. Number two, friends will tell if you met the right one. We say this all the time, do not date alone, because your friends can tell, like, girl, he is not the one. I can tell, blah, blah, blah.
Or bro, she ain't the one.
And so we want to make sure that we have friends that we trust that can give godly, wise advice, have that discernment, because not everyone is going to be, some people can be jealous of that person, like, no, he's not the one, and secretly they want to be with them. But we have to have friends that are wise, that can give us sound advice, and that can have an eye that we can not see sometimes, because love can be blinding a little bit. In Proverbs 13:10, in the Passion Translation, it says, wisdom opens your heart to receive wise counsel, but pride closes your ears to advice and gives birth only to quarrels and strife. And so sometimes we need to be too prideful and say, oh, I know, I have good discernment, I know what type of person this is. But wisdom says, no, give me godly advice. I want to hear more wisdom. I don't know everything, but I'm open to getting that counsel from people that I trust, who have a relationship with God.
So number 3 on how we know if we met the right person, fruit will tell if you met the right person. The fruit of the Spirit. If this person is baptized in the Spirit of God and is saved and is a disciple of Jesus Christ, the fruit of their life will tell you. Also, if they're not saved, if they're not a believer, the fruit of their life will tell you. You do not want to marry a person outside of the Christian faith. If you are a Christian, that is called being unequally yoked. You want the fruit and evidence of good, godly character in their life.
And also, people can fake that they're a Christian. So that time and that fruit will tell whether they're a true Christian or not.
Matthew 7:20 says, yes, just as you can identify a tree by its fruit, so you can identify people by their actions. You see, fruit are actions and deeds from the heart. Your spirit can bear fruit, or the flesh can bear fruit. And so you want somebody who's leaning towards bearing fruit from their spirit.
Number 4, God will tell if you've met the right one. Now, we know a lot of times God can speak in multiple ways. It's not always an audible voice, but His word, He speaks to us through His word. Does His word line up with your relationship and the person and their fruit and just how things are conducted? Also, God can speak through people. Again, those friends that can, give you a word from God, or saying, hey, I don't really know about this. Also, He can give us checks in our spirit, those gut feelings. As well, He can speak to us through our dreams. And that's what happened to me a couple times in my past when I was dating someone. I was like, he's the one for me. And God was like, okay, you're not listening to your friends, because I was creeping behind their back. The word, I was like, close this Bible, a little dusty. And he's like, okay, let me get to her in her dreams. And he showed me just the spiritual implications within the person and within our relationship multiple times. And so God will speak to us in certain ways. We just have to make sure that we're listening to his voice, listening for his voice, and obeying his voice. So when you hear his voice or the different ways that he speaks to you, make sure that we obey it. We do not want to go against that voice because there will be consequences.
And the fifth and final way on how to know if you met the right one is your feelings will tell you if you met the right one. Listen, you will have a sense of peace. I had a sense of peace when I knew that Kenady was the right one for me. You will have a check also if it isn't the right one. Also, you will have other feelings of second guessing and fear. And again, God is prompting you in your feelings that maybe this is not the right one. You don't want to rush into a marriage or a relationship when you have a feeling of loneliness, right? That is not a good reason why you need to jump into a relationship. You might not even like this person. You might have been with this person for multiple years, 5, 10 years, and say, well, this is the best I can do. I'm just going to enter into a relationship or even marriage with this person. That is not a good reason why you need to get married at all. You need to have peace in your heart and this feeling of, okay, this is the one for me. Don't settle for the sake of marriage. So if you haven't checked out our last video, please check out our last video. We talked about this book here, #completely single. I wrote this in 2015 and it talks about how to become the right one. So please check that out. Thank you so much for joining us. If you want more relationship advice, please go right here for tips for your relationships. Again, my name is Damien Nash.
And I'm Kenady Nash.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Get our books.
Books.
Amazon.